Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? So on the last video with the Rage Vegeta showcase on the new Explosion of Anger category, I did mention that I am doing a follow-up on a particular unit, and that unit is of course the Namek Saga Rage Super Saiyan Goku unit. Of course, this guy is really one of the units that come to mind when you think about, you know, Fury Unleashed or Explosion of Anger or whatever the right terminology is. So definitely wanted to test this unit out on Infinite Dragon Ball history, so here we are. So before we get started with the details, definitely make sure to like the video if you enjoy the content as always, and if you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button. So we'll start off with the base Goku stats, just kind of as a review, because I don't know, this guy really hasn't talked about too much lately, even though he's still a great unit. Leader skill, of course, is the Super Saiyan or Namek Saga category, Ki plus 3, HP increase of 130%, and then attack and defense increase of 170%. For this video, you'll be obviously seeing this on the Explosion of Anger category. Now for this guy's super attack, causes immense damage to enemy and raises allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn, so pretty nice there. Passive skill is attack and defense increase of 77%, and then attack and defense increase of 15%, with each attack received up to 59%. So of course you definitely do want to, you know, cap out at the 59% boost to attack and defense before the transformation takes place, because once HP goes below 70% or less, starting from the 3rd turn from the start of battle, this guy will end up transforming into the Super Saiyan Goku unit, so you definitely do want to take advantage of the ability to, again, stack up the attack and defense by up to 59%. So we'll skip all of the other stats and just move on to the actual transformed Super Saiyan Goku unit. So the skill sets do change. For example, super attack, once the transformation takes place, you have the ability to stack up defense, basically raises defense for every super attack along with causing immense damage to enemy. And then for the passive skill, it's an attack and defense increase of 80%. On top of that, you're looking at attack increase of 59% for the rest of the battle after receiving attack. And then medium chance of guarding all attacks, guard activated against all attacks, and a high chance of performing a critical hit for 3 turns when guard is activated. Now this guy definitely does quite well in the longer, tougher battle settings like Legendary Goku event and the Infinite Dragon Ball history that you're seeing on the showcase tested on. So again, you have abilities to, you know, guard effectively. You have the ability for high chance of crits and, you know, whatnot. So very, very useful unit. Of course, the rage mode is activated once HP is 50% or less, starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. And if you go over to that information, basically you have a variation of the Meteor Smash, which is 8 to 11 Ki, which causes supreme damage to enemy, and then the Super Meteor Smash is the 12 Ki equivalent, it causes immense damage to enemy, and then also, you know, has the ability to randomly change Ki spheres of a certain type to rainbow as well. So, you know, definitely a very fun unit to run, and you know, link-wise, the guy does pretty well overall. I mean, definitely a very interesting unit, and you know, for this particular testing of the unit, he was heavily linked up with, you know, like the LR Gohan or the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Gohan more so less because of the guy's defensive abilities in longer battle settings. Of course, the guy also stacks up defense, so, you know, makes things a little bit easier. The Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, of course, you know, pretty decent boost, 30% toward attack from the super attack, and then you're also looking at an additional 30% from the passive skill as well. So nice little unit to link up to that unit as well. You do have to get a super attack to get the maximum boost from all the different skill sets from Vegeta. But again, for this one, you're pretty much going to see the guy linked up with LR Gohan just because of, you know, how stable that unit is on this type of setting. And similar to the Rage Vegeta showcase, you will see the Supreme Kai Time also featured because of, you know, how good her passive skill actually is in terms of helping allies out. So that's pretty much the setup with the Explosion of Anger category setup. I mean, it's kind of similar to the Rage Vegeta that was showcased yesterday, but you know, obviously slightly different builds between the units, and of course that brings out different levels of not only expectations but, you know, the end result product, you know what I mean? So again, this guy is very, very useful in that, defensive abilities definitely do make a substantial difference. Even on, let's say Legendary Goku event, the guy defends pretty well and can certainly be very beneficial to have on a team. And you do have a high chance of getting crits based on, the 3-turn restrictions once, the guard is activated. So, it does increase your odds. I think probably the best potential build for this guy is level 15 additional attack and level 11 critical hits. That's personally, what I went with, and seems to work out pretty well. It's honestly dependent on, what your preference is. If you'd rather see a much higher frequency of critical hits, you can certainly do so. I pretty much made a priority to get that ability to stack defense based on every super attack. One of the top list, items for me anyway. So that's pretty much why I went with the 15-11 distribution. But there's all sorts of different ways to go about it. That's just my personal opinion. So with that being said, again, this unit's a lot of fun to use, and I think, he has a fair amount of categories that it falls onto. Like, there's actually quite a few. I think the Rage Vegeta unit that was showcased yesterday was the one that, definitely needed and increased the amount of categories available, because even with the Explosion of Anger category, the guy only has 3 total. I think the other ones were Joined Forces and Vegeta's Family. So finally, the unit has 3 categories, whereas this Goku, I'm counting right now, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories total. So you have a whole variety of different team builds to go with. Planet Namek Saga, Pure Saiyan's Transformation Boost, Goku's Family, Super Saiyan's Kamehameha, Last Resort, and then Explosion of Anger. So, really, this guy can fit in pretty much any of these teams pretty well. And, of course, this is the new category showcase, so Explosion of Anger, but, does just fine on Super Saiyans, even Kamehameha, like Last Resort, Goku's Family, obviously, and even Transformation Boost, and literally anything except for maybe Planet Namek Saga is probably the one that's going to be a little bit lackluster. Outside of that, you can pretty much build a team with a diverse set of really good units and have a really good time essentially. So you're looking at the defensive stats right there, as you saw toward the end of the battle. So that's pretty much how much you can build up. I think it was like 354,000 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, there are units like the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta boosting up some of the defense a little bit, but at the same time, that's a pretty big number. And the fact that this guy can guard effectively is going to make things very very nice. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be pretty tight. So that's really, this guy is definitely a fluid unit to say the least, and a lot of fun to run. The rage mechanic, it's nice, and the super attack animations on this guy's rage mode is definitely really nice as well. I think the big issue with the rage mode mechanism in general is they don't produce as high of damage or even get attack stats compared to non-rage mode. And I get that, because you're pretty much invincible at that state. They do have to kind of mitigate and balance it out a little bit, but it's almost like, for example, I was running a Wicked Bloodline team the other day, and pretty much going through the Legendary Goku event, and the transformation with Metal Cooler, you save HP, basically taking damage, but at the same time, it's almost like it feels dragged out, because it's not as efficient. You're better off having not even just Metal Cooler, but also like the transforming cooler on rotation is just cleared through it much quicker than the transformation itself taking place. But again, you're pretty much invincible at that state for at least 2 turns. Now Goku's in Goku's case, it is just 1 turn, but it's a nice mechanic to have. It comes in handy, definitely. I'm not saying it doesn't. It just tends to drag things out a little bit sometimes. So that's probably my take on it. I love the mechanism. I like the super attack alternative animations and all that, so it's great. Honestly, it's great. So I'm not knocking it by any means, so don't get it twisted. But yeah, I mean, this guy is definitely, I mean, he's such an iconic character, you know, unit reflected from the anime, you know, and not even the anime, but the manga as well. It's just a very iconic moment, and I'm really glad they just implemented the animation so close to like the anime. This is when things were like really changing with the animations, you know what I mean? Like in the previous, like I would say Metacooler did that was a pretty big point in transitioning super attack animations. Like they definitely started really revamping the styles of it, so I'm glad things are the way they are. And honestly, 5-year units, I mean, you guys know how good the animations are, so it's quite crazy how, you know, things are. You know, the physical Beerus, obviously the leader for this category, animation's pretty sick, and a lot of good things are definitely coming. But we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Hopefully you did enjoy the showcase for the Planet Namek Saga Rage Goku on the new Explosion of Anger category team. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Alright, peace out.